forgot to hit the button. I hit the button. You should see me now. I'm here talking to myself. Amazing. Hi, Ekrid. Hi, A-Corpse. Again, I was talking to you guys like you were here and I was streaming. Alright. So, Minion Soldiers got one for us. Yeah, I was saying I just got home from work and I was unprepared. Didn't look like Sig did anything. Citizen Gamers, Extra Cast Blast. Ooh, the A1. Yes. Definitely we're gonna watch the A1A. Got to say about that. Thanks for telling me about that, Akron. God knows how long I would have been sitting here thinking I was streaming. Pretty funny stuff. Super Mac, 3D local area map. Yeah, they're all short. Looks like we can cover all 5 of those from Super Mac. Board Gamer. Nine hours ago, there was no news last night, so both these are fresh. And they're short too, only 6 minutes. So we can cover both of those. Everybody's breaking their videos into short things, it looks like. I don't know if that's the new style. Everybody's trying to copy the noob or something. I have no idea. Did you hear me say thank you, Ekrid, for telling me that I wasn't really streaming? I appreciate it. I definitely want to watch this by the noob. Won't hurt to cover his gear short right there. I think Oxford covered the Buccaneer. I think this was like Saturday or something. Did that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing 2 days a week. Probably gonna do 3 days a week actually. Probably do Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, which are my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. So I'll do Oxford's days off. And then maybe me and Oxford will play Star Citizen together for you guys, since neither one of us like playing it by ourselves. Maybe together we can suffer through it. And if he doesn't want to do that, then I got like, I bought a bunch of games on Steam. I'll do like I'll just break out a new game I never played before and have everybody make fun of me. Okay. Yeah, they ain't got crap. Oh. So we're not gonna have another lore video till next week. Yeah, it's gonna be a short news thing, and then after that, pull up my Steam library here. I don't know if probably gonna be too small for you guys to read it though. I got Divinity Original Sin. We can play some more Far Cry 5. Lots some other games too. Some arcade-like games. Like Devil May Cry 4. about 3 years ago. I bought her the game and we played UO together, so I knew her for like 25 years. This is kind of like her memorial. We don't disturb this, we leave it alone. Yeah, here's my front door. We throw all of our trash in this chest right here. Then we recycle it, make stuff out of it. And this right here is where you'll get all your equipment stuff. Like you need recall scrolls and your reagents and stuff. So you'll pull them out of here. This is where we chill out. The record player works. I got some albums in there. I got like 15 albums. You want to listen to them, and you can get one guy on each side of the room and start the albums at the same time and get them kind of close to sync. This here's a radio. You can listen to Avatar Radio with this thing right here. The piano works. This goes to the hot tub. And then we go over here and we got the this is going to be the library. I don't have many books yet, but I want to add some more bookcases up here and like do a bookcase in all these archways. So yeah, this is gonna be our library, our books. Then up here is kind of like where we do our partying. On the deck. Very nice view. Very nice here. There's 2 decks. I don't like this deck because it's doesn't have a good view, so we party on the other deck. I'm thinking about doing something here. I'm not sure what. I don't know. Got to come up with some type of purpose for this section of the house. I started with this fish thing right here, and I was gonna put some more trophies. I just don't know what to do here. Oh yeah, this is like a broom closet. Then up here is this is my bedroom. And that's my wife right there. And then after my bedroom, we go up to the top. And this is a section right here. I like to do duels up here. PvP duels. Teach people how to fight. That's about its only purpose right now. And then the basement's bigger than the house, actually. It's a 5-story basement underneath here, and you got everybody else's bedroom and stuff down in the basement, which I'll show you. So basically, you can live in the house and do whatever you want. I really don't have anything that, you know, is breakable or anything like that. Like, you're not gonna hurt nothing by living here. And then you'll have a room in the basement down here. I got one other friend that stays here with me, but he's got a little house for his room, but he comes in here and does stuff with the crafting room, which is this door right here. So you have all your crafting stuff. This is where I craft all the armor and everything you want. This is the room where all the magic happens. And I'm in the process of turning this into a lab. So this is going to be a lab. I'm going to put the alchemy tables in here and all kinds of enchanting stuff. So after we make the armor and stuff in the other room, we'll put it in a box here, And then this is where we'll enchant it and bestow magic properties upon it. This is our humble kitchen. Even made a sink. And then the rest of the house is just bedrooms for people that want to play with me. And so basically on every floor there's a great big great room. And you can actually have a whole floor to yourself if you wanted the whole floor to yourself, and you can decorate it however you wanted to. This is a friend of mine that's left the game. He doesn't play anymore. So you could actually have this room if you wanted to. This is another friend of mine who left the game, and so you could have this room if you wanted to. So you could have this whole floor to yourself if you wanted to. And then it just keeps going down and down and down. There's like five stories to the basement. They're all pretty much the same. So these are all possible friends that we could have. Like if Merrick, does Merrick have a nice house? If he doesn't, he can come and stay with us too. I mean, we got plenty of room here. This room is V. He might come back and play with us. He's an old man. He got sick, so we won't touch none of his stuff. He was obviously doing something down here. I don't know what, but he's old, and I don't want to mess with him. We'll just leave his stuff alone. But yeah, and it just keeps going down and down and down and down and down. You get the point. Hey, wise man, you got Shroud of the Avatar? Some people call it soda. Look like Acrid's gonna start playing soda with me, maybe one day a week. Get them all leveled up. They really fixed this game too. I mean, I'm getting crazy FPS. Let's see. Yeah, I get like 70 something FPS now. Do you remember a game called Ultima Online, wise man? This is the modern version of Ultima Online. Lord British made it. I'm sure you heard of the Ultima series. Ultima 1, Ultima 2, Ultima 3. Then there's Ultima 4 all the way to Ultima 8, and then Ultima Online came out. Yeah, so this is my house, and basically you can build everything. Like you can, like, I made this furniture with my own two hands. I went out and I cut the trees, and I made all this stuff. And you can use everything. Well, yeah, then you would love this game. And you just buy the minimum package. Don't spend any more money because Twister owns everything already, and I got all this room for myself. It's not good by yourself. And the only reason why I don't play this is because I don't have a bunch of people that want to play it. But it looks like we got 10 minutes. I'm going to go upstairs, get my coffee, go to the bathroom. Looks like we got a little bit of news to cover. And then after that, I was thinking about playing Divinity 2. unless you guys want me to play something else. I can give you guys some options, but I don't really know how to do a poll. So I'll actually have to physically count the numbers in chat, which I don't have a lot of people, so I think I can do that. Okay, so I'll be right back. Don't get too bored. Assassin's Creed 4, never played it. Assassin's Creed Origins, never played it. Far Cry 3, never played it. For Honor, I never played it. I don't have it hooked up, but I'm working on hooking up my VR. So if somebody wants to do like Bridge Crew with me, we can stream it. So yeah, I got all kinds of games. Oh yeah, Mech Warrior Online. We're going to play some Mech Warrior Online for sure on the stream. I like Mech Warrior. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm talking about though. Xbox. It's this right here, and it plugs into the bottom of your controller like that. So it clips on there, so you can just type on it with your Xbox. So if you like watching Twitch and stuff like that, with your Xbox, I recommend this. And then, let's see, Xbox. Heat controller. So this is the controller I got. All the knobs pull off because they're magnetic and you can change them out for different stuff. And it's got these pads on the bottom. These are more buttons for your Xbox. You got the stuff on the back and you got the stuff on the front. And it's all metal. This is like rubberized coating on top of it's all real metal, dude. The controller weighs a ton. It's awesome. Love it. Here's my YouTube channel. Twistar Gaming. I'm up to 76 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Somebody's watching my streams on YouTube. Okay, it looks like the counter is run down. It is time for the news. See if we can get things fixed up here. News time. I need to find my buttons. Here we go. All right. Thank you all for coming. We're going to take care of some news today for Star Citizen. Tactical Advance come out with a video on the Valkyrie It's gonna be a ship review. He apparently has a lot to say about the Valkyrie because it's 24 minutes long, but there's not a lot of news tonight, so kick back, relax, and enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Advance here, and welcome to a ship review. Now today, we are taking a look at the Anvil Valkyrie. Now the Valkyrie is a dedicated dropship, and I must say, I've been trying it out, it's pretty decent. Obviously no cargo, but there's nothing stopping you putting a little box in there, but requesting cargo to be put in the ship, you won't be able to do that because there's no pads in the back. It's designed to take a vehicle in the back. And yeah, let's take a look around. Now the first thing, standing here, it does look like, if we go and stand over and have another look, it does look like the daddy of the Terrapin, doesn't it? Even though the Terrapin is a exploration ship. The difference comes in is when you start getting close and realise this thing is massive. I mean, look, the landing leg's bigger than me. Even the side gun is. I think a lot of people were surprised that it just sort of cropped up a little while ago. Lots of guns on it. You've got guns down here, some man turret, weapons here. They're all Gatlings that could be manned.
Did he just like say a bunch of bad words or something?
And then you have some guns up the top here as well, and all these little wing bits here. Side gunners as well. Pop out the side. We'll take a look at that when we get inside. Let's have a look on the outside anyway. Pretty cool animations on this thing when you change as well into the different landing modes. Now clearly the strength of this ship is coming into atmosphere, landing on a planet, dropping troops off and flying away. I suppose it doesn't have to be on a planet, does it? It could be in space as well.
You guys see those dents?
I've tested it out and this thing is insane. I mean, you could come in at a speed of, let's say, 400 and about 800 from the floor. If you go into landing mode, you're going to stop with loads of room. This thing is has crazy capability for stopping power. For the size, I mean, you would have expected something bigger being a bit slower, but I guess it makes sense really, innit? Dropship. It's well capable. This thing is absolutely crazy. Little vents up there. Some sort of, it's got a radiator. It could be a mesh there. Probably did that on my landing. Actually, I don't know if that was there already. There's a scratch there. One on that side as well. Pretty cool detail on these weapons as well. These bottom guns, you've probably noticed there is a slight issue with them. When you get into the seat, they actually rotate and point around the right way. That's the stowed position, you could call it. This sort of orangey, yellowy glass here as well. Does look like it's going to be quite a good view, doesn't it? There is a little bit of glass under here as well. I'm not sure how that's going to be used, but we'll take a look at that when we jump inside. Engines here. Absolute monsters. We can see them in full animation shortly anyway. All the landing gear there as well. Does have these big arms as well, which the guns go on. It's like looking at a 3-store building, isn't it? Some scratches there. I don't know, if I just bought this ship, I'd probably take that into a warranty claim, wouldn't you? It's very plain looking like wing here, isn't it? Maybe that's going to aid with atmospheric flight. It does look like a bit of a brick from the front without them, doesn't it? To move a bit further back here, it's so big. Very, very wide as well, isn't it?
I was kind of for the tank.
Jump inside and have a look. The other thing I noticed with this as well is this door. Jesus. Now, rapid deployment, that's the word of that door, isn't it? Jesus. Flies down, doesn't it? Makes sense, really, doesn't it? You don't want to be hanging around. Gotta take someone's head off for that, wouldn't you? I'm glad they've implemented these sort of features where this ship is... It's a drop ship, and it definitely has the ability of a drop ship, i.e. fast opening doors, rapid deployment, rapid landing. This is where your vehicle goes.
If you remember, I sold mine and I got the
Oh, you do have this as well. Check this out, look.
the Hercules, so I could haul cargo
Oh, yes.
and 2 tanks instead of this thing.
Could be one or two things, really, couldn't it? Does it sound it?
The whole
One-
not being able to cargo
When we talk
Have
about
cargo
rapid
just-
deployment,
made me upset.
deploying quickly, we've seen this. Nice and quick, right? Same thing's got to apply when you're coming back in. And I suppose when you come back in, you're going to hit that. Now, I know what everyone else is thinking. I've seen these on runways, on short runways as well. They're used to protect the rear of whatever, you know, you're standing behind for the blast, i.e. from the engine. I don't think that heat aspect is going to be a thing in Star Citizen. This has a real use case. This is just not like one of the bathrooms or anything like that. If you drop down quickly and you want someone to get in quickly, they can come flying in. Worst case scenario, you're going to hit this. Better than flying under here and all bugging out, isn't it? So, yeah, I like that. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Nice little feature. Lots of doors here. We got this one here. These doors are... These have got to be blast doors, these ones. These are military grade doors, these things. Look at these, look. Look at that bad boy. That's the door you want to be on the other side of when something goes wrong. Can't fully see it, can you? Because all the weird orangey stuff. There's this little pad thing that comes open as well, look. I suppose it has to go back, doesn't it? So the door can slide in. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Hey, Cogwhistle.
Now, it's no guess to what all this is. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Operators here
5, 10, 20
Thanks
in
for coming.
total. So you've got another... Got the same thing around here. Now keep in mind, Star Citizen will be focusing on life support, oxygen, all that sort of stuff as well. So having a dropship that can carry 20 people, it has the oxygen supply as well. Which is going to be key.
You get my message, operator? You got to make sure you got two
We have a ladder in the center, and over here,
2 times 16 slots in your motherboard. You want 16 lanes for each graphics card. Yeah, so
can't open the lockers yet. Let's
you
try
can
these
get
ones.
a-
We're going to try the
another
side gun in a minute.
1060. Or what I would do, just go get a 1080 Ti, plug it in, and then use
Cool,
the
we've got a few more things to
1070
look
for
at. Let's
your
look at this
stream.
thing first of all. 2 things here we got. First of all, we got this door.
You don't need a processor to stream it.
Something I noticed on this one. Look at this, look. There is rapid deployment through there. Look at this as well, look.
I use CPU encoding, which you're not going to do unless you're going to throw thousands of dollars at it. You're going to do GPU encoding, so you just need a second video card. Get a 1080 Ti or a 2080,
Now,
whatever.
the first time I did that, it didn't actually climb up,
and
but
then use the
I
1070.
think once they fix
for
them
your,
climbing
screen.
animations, you should better just jump in there. Let's get the bad boy out. Let's try this.
I agree. Get a 2080. Get a 2080 to
Power
game
on,
on,
power
and then
off.
use your 1070 for your stream. Make sure that you got 2 times 16 slots in your motherboard.
Moves pretty quick. Could move over a little bit more. Just to maybe move in the center, maybe. Yeah, like I said, you can climb up them things. Believe it or not, every time I've done it off camera, I've managed to... it goes through an animation state. It climbs up, then it climbs up onto the ledge. Of course, once you're recording, it never works, does it? So you've got two sides. You've got it there as well. Around here... Super duper door. This room looks fantastic, doesn't it? They got the lighting spot on in here. These little reflections down here. Near a gas leak somewhere. That's probably going to be red alert or something, isn't it?
I'll help you out,
Something's coming from
operator.
up here somewhere.
I'll do it for you real quick.
All the doors are manually activated. And you have another entrance here.
Go
Guessing
here
there's
to
going to be some
twistergaming.com,
modules here as well
which is my website.
for the modular gameplay.
I'm gonna pause the video for a second. So, people that don't know me, I like to do things. So this is my website. If you go to my website and you're looking to buy computer parts, come over here to PC parts. And there's Micro Center, Newegg, Main Performance PC, Cyber PC, Case Labs. These are all places where I get my parts. And then there's Amazon too. Basically go to Newegg and Micro Center and compare it to Amazon. You'll be all set.
We can jump in this one. Take a look at the turret.
They'll deliver it right to your door in 2 days.
It's actually pretty good, actually. Moves quite nicely. Clearly has some spool up time there.
Does anybody but me feel like he's like 2 months like behind in making this video?
Pretty decent, isn't it? It's actually quite impressive. Quite like it. Particularly for an underslung gun. Some of the underslung guns are... yeah, I just don't get on with them at all. Wonder if we can see the animation when I get out. Let's have a look. And let's try it. Definitely couldn't see the animation.
Hey, Stockholm, Sweden. Nice to
It
see
was
you
an
back,
out of body
buddy.
experience, wasn't it? That's the one that all folds up from the outside anyway. Shame you couldn't see it, eh? Probably have to watch someone else doing it, wouldn't you? It's got one of them lights there as well. You can jump in all these seats as well. Just get in one, I suppose. Be rude not to, wouldn't it? Ah, it's weird. It gives you the outer view as well. Yep, confirmed. Seat works.
It works. Come on, tell me something, buddy. Tell me something new about
Next
the ship.
part
I was kind
is upstairs. There is a viewing deck sort of thing here as well, up the top there.
Oh, those rails weren't there before.
And these ladders can
I
be a
went
little
in
bit
mine.
challenging, can't they? At the best of times.
You just
Try the
jump
old
down
jump
with
at the
no
top.
railing.
Five beds. Let's move around here.
Hey, Alphane is here.
Can look down here as well while you're waiting, while they're deploying.
Hey, Alf.
In fact, someone could communicate back to the pilot here, couldn't they? Counting the people as they jump out.
Got some people that were asking about soda today. They're in the channel right now. Acrid Hitman. Ooh, subscribe. Thank you. Thank you very much, Alphane. Acrid Hitman, he has soda, and Wise Man says he's gonna get soda. I guess it's free to play now, and I told him they could live in my house with me. We'll see what happens.
Couple of beds there. I'm not going to jump in a bed. Radar module. I'm going to get sucked into any of them at the moment. Bathroom. It's like a blooming sauna there, isn't it? Very, well, I think the right word's stainless steel, isn't it?
Nope, I'm not playing the game. I'm doing the news right now.
No hold. Interesting. Guessing that's the shower there. Well, you want to lean back while you're on the loo, wouldn't you? The shower might come on.
This is a toilet.
Little sink here as well.
Sink. Well, I don't think he had to take 25 minutes to show the ship, but we're watching it, I guess. Only 7 more minutes left.
Surprisingly big, isn't it? You wouldn't have thought from the outside that it would have been this big. It's a pretty chunky little ship, it is. Now you do have a gun seat here as well. We're going to take a look at this one. Slightly different design from the bottom one, isn't it? Because you don't have anything in the way. Pretty decent inside, gives you okay information. The bottom one seems to give you more information, which is odd. I'm guessing these displays are not working at the moment. Views are good though, aren't they? How far does the gun go back? Wow. Moves fantastically. The guns are pretty decent on this one. And like I said, the bottom one is actually quite good for a bottom gun. I know a lot of people will probably rather be upside down, if that makes any sense, rather than be, you know, sitting down. But overall, pretty decent. Let's jump out of here. Still got more guns to look at. It's not short guns, this one. And you're noticing a trend here with the Gatlins, aren't you? There's so many of them. They are fantastic guns. These are the two you get. Let's see if we can, don't know if it's going to let me go into the exterior view. We'll give it a go. Power button here, one sec. And we'll just whack that on and then, there we go. So can I press F4 now? No, you can't. You leave it. That turret that was on the wing, on the corner of the wings, as you can see, I'm in it now. There's definitely there's no moaning about view with this one, is there? It's literally getting this thing is going to be an absolute nightmare. this thing is landed on the floor, and you're trying to
I
get
don't play
close to it.
Space Engineers, but I watch Oxford play
Turn the
it.
power on.
I don't think I have the patience to build anything like that.
I mean, from the side guns to the top guns to the bottom guns and the side, it's going to be a nightmare. I mean, it's got double Gatlings on the
I
side.
do that at work.
It's got the forward guns, it's got the forward turret and the top turret. There's not much else you can do while you're in that view. Once you're in that view, pretty much touch any other key and fire, you sort of jump out of it. There's no like scoped view. I'm sure they'll change it. You can zoom a bit. Imagine this was landed now and there was 5 people in it, manning all the weapon stations, and you're loading up with 20 people in a vehicle. If it come under attack, this thing can heavily defend itself. And pretty well. What a fantastic little ship, eh? Say little, it's massive, isn't it? Well, little, to some context. There's obviously a lot more ships in Star Citizen that dwarf this, but compact but very powerful. So here we are. Can close that door behind me, but once again, you've got to manually close it. So what we do...
Seems like the seat needs to come up.
Flight mode.
I feel like I'm staring at the dashboard.
Shields offline. Anvil Aerospace, all systems online.
The HUDs need to come down lower or something. They need to get rid of the middle piece.
You will obviously notice the seating position is a little bit... I mean, you have got this as well, which is pretty decent. It's always handy when you're trying to land. But then again, it doesn't help you against the big rocks. I think we still need some sort of proper landing computer in Star Citizen. So this is the view you get. Overall, it's pretty decent. You are a little bit limited on the below sort of stuff. Nothing stopping you going to that view, is there? I know it's a little bit of immersion killer by any means. So let's come out of landing mode. I want to show you something first of all.
Landing gear raised. Deck proximity alert. Landing gear.
For the size of the ship, how quickly that can stop and deploy its landing legs like that is absolutely crazy. The good news, what I'm trying to highlight here, the good news is we've got a dropship that's good at being a dropship, if that makes any sense. I think they've definitely got it right with this one. The handling is absolutely crazy. Let's have a look at them exterior animations. Let's get up a little bit higher. Let's have a look from this view first of all.
VTOL thrusters. I'm landing so.
Let's try from there as well because we see the. Check out underneath as well because it does look like them landing legs are folding right away, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Pretty decent, isn't it? Overall, I think they've done a really good job of this one. There's nothing I'm going to really complain about. The only thing that I know some people in the comments might complain about is the view a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit... I think you need a booster seat with this one, didn't you? If only it was sort of like...
How you doing,
I don't
buddy?
know, what do you reckon?
Appreciate you coming back.
Maybe like that? Sitting 3-4
Be on
inches
tomorrow
higher?
night too.
But then again, I've sort of, at the same time, I'm not really... I actually do like having all the displays like this. So I think there is a trade-off with this, isn't there? Having all the displays visible to having a better view. But I'm sure you guys will let us know in the comments on what you think anyway. Pretty decent ships, quite impressive. Let's have a look at these forward guns as well. These are the ones the pilots gets hold of. God, I just imagine this flying towards you with all them Gatling guns firing. It's going to be terrifying, isn't it? I'm sure the pirates are going to love this ship, aren't they? The firepower it's got, it's pretty impressive, I must admit, for a little ship of this size.
If they can't
anyway.
haul cargoes, pirates are not going to love that ship. Anyway. Overall, a fantastic ship. Very, very impressed with this ship. Let me know in the comments what you think of this ship. Thank you very much to all of my patrons supporting me. And also, if you're looking to join Star Citizen or join a Star Citizen organisation, check out the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe. Bye now. Alright. Tactical advance. 25 minutes of the Valkyrie. I think that video could have been made in like 10. But better. So, what's up next? I believe Montoya had some short I wanted to see. Razorface makes amazing Star Citizen performance art. Would like to see what Star Citizen performance art. The Carrack is an awesome ship. I don't mind it being smaller or the original size instead of growing really big, because it'll be one of my smaller ships that I can fly around me. For me, I kind of needed something that wasn't ginormous.
You might not know this about me, but I'm a huge fan of performance art. Let me show you one of my favorite pieces. Yoko, she's the best. Just watch this with me.
That's John Lennon's wife. He's dead, of course, from the Beatles. Gotta be 60 years old.
I don't know about you, but you know, it sends shivers down my spine every time I see that. It is so beautiful. But let me show you another great piece of performance art that I just came across, and probably also one of my new favorites. Let's check it out.
It's an immutable fact of human existence. The sun rises in the east, geese fly south in winter, shrill Mexican children will always be drawn to Xbox Live like a mosquito to a fat chick's ankle, and Star Citizen is still fucking fucked. Jesus. And as much as I reflexively I'm shitting bricks the prospect of yet another penile pummeling, but I must admit, but who the fallopian fuck stop that is Star Citizen and regular alpha? Is there even alpha?
Oh, beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I am Montoya. A little thing about the internet that a lot of people don't realize is so much of it is simply performance art. Just because you speak about something with passion and you pretend you're angry, a lot of people go, well, he's so passionate about it, it must be true. And it's sad, but that's the way things work. But you know what? Let's take a look at some of the comments in his channel here. And I know I just made a video saying how when someone attacks Star Citizen, I don't have to do anything about it because the game will just come out and I'll be proven right. I'm going to stick by that. I'm not going to have to do anything, but watch as his own fans rip him apart and correct him with all the fallacies and plain lies he puts out here. They hit him with facts and logic, Ben Shapiro style. Let's go. Well, first of all, Sargon of Akkad actually commented there. Very cool. But let's scroll down and see. Now, look, most of the comments here, to be fair, the highest voted ones, are people agreeing with him. Fair enough. It's his channel. This is his audience. He's catering to them. That's fine. But let's take a look at some of the guys actually straightening up the story and being right about it. Starting with C. Marek 1989 here. Game runs at 60 FPS, no problem. All right. This is because one of the first problems that Razorfist makes up here is that the game runs like shit. Now, even me, and I'm running a pretty, well, it was a mid-range machine back in the day, but now 4 years later, it's a pretty low-end machine. I'm running a 970 with 16 gigs of RAM, and I'm getting a solid 45 to 60 frames per second in almost everywhere in the game. People with better cards are getting much higher frame rates. So saying the game is suffering from FPS problems, you know what? They fixed that with the recent release of Object Container Streaming. Not that I expect people like Razorfist or anyone who reads his channel to know these things, because they don't care about that. All they care about is that the game is terrible and it's going to fail. So C. Marek goes on and he says, no, the game runs fine, but he also brings up the point about the JPEGs that cost $15,000. Now, this is the argument that...
Hey, is this our Marek? Is that his Google name? I wonder if that's our Marek. By any chance.
The haters keep on putting over and over and over again. For some reason, I don't know what country these guys live in, but let me tell you about America. In America, we have a system called capitalism. Now, what capitalism means, amongst many other things, is some people will make more money than other people. Maybe some people are just born to rich families. Other people work hard and make a lot of money. For some people, spending $15,000 is the same when I spend $15. There are people I know that can sneeze and $100,000 will fall out their pockets because that's where they are in life, and that's capitalism. So to be complaining that Star Citizen put out a game package for $15,000 and that's a bad thing must mean you probably live in some communist country or you hate capitalism, because they wouldn't put it out if there wasn't any market demand. The reason they put out this package for $27,000 or whatever it is because people are saying, you know what, I'll buy that, because they have the money and they can, because thank you, capitalism. God bless the USA. Scrolling down a bit further, Owen, he says, issues with this video. Lumberyard is not a different engine, it's a fork of CryEngine. All right, now Razorfist, look, I don't expect people like Razorfist and people very critical of the game to actually sit down and read and understand the game the way that backers do. They see it from the outside, they see an article once in a while, they want to get angry, they want to make an angry video to get views, and it works. So he incorrectly said that changed engines, and that's a way to fuck it up. But, excuse me, what the details are, what the facts are, is that they were on CryEngine, and they forked off into Lumberyard, which is Amazon's fork of CryEngine. And why do you want to be on Amazon's Lumberyard? Well, for one thing, Amazon Web Services, if ever you want to make a game that's going to be an MMO and you need the servers, Amazon is the company you want doing that. So, CIG, going off CryEngine, going into Lumberyard, is exactly what the game needs to make this game work well. For someone to complain about it, well, I guess the feelings must be hurt because, yeah, have some facts and logic. Let's keep on going down. Hugh Test. Hey, Hugh, are you actually in Test? I love Star Citizen so much around JT killing smugglers. JT is Jumptown. It's one of the new game loops we have to go buy drugs. Libertarians must love that. You can go buy drugs and sell them in the open market. I'm a developer though. All right, so this is good. Here's a guy who is an actual developer, or at least claims to be a developer. It's the internet, we don't know. So he understands the timeline and delays. I guess most gamers are used to a game being announced and coming out a year later. Absolutely correct. Games like Red Dead Redemption, games like Cyberpunk, which we're all very excited for, are announced, well, Cyberpunk was recently, a couple of months ago, and will be coming out in a year. I want to dig into that a bit later, but let's keep on saying what he says. Let's read what he says. If I was an investor, I'd definitely not put money into Star Citizen. Oh, okay, where's he going with this? Because you can make money much easier making Unity shovelware and feeding it to 70% of the gamers who are retarded man children. Q-test. Nicely done. And he's absolutely correct. Battlefield, FIFA 2016, 17, 18, 19, Call of Duty, whatever it is, all these games are simply reskinning the previous year, putting it out. Everyone's applauding how great the game is for the most part. Here's a company who's making something new from scratch. CIG is starting from nothing. They weren't a studio before. They had 10 people, and they grew and developed something. They had an engine which couldn't handle what they do. They branched off, created a new engine. Most of their time is spent developing the damn engine that is going to run this game. That's what's taking most of the time and money. And people are complaining about it because they'd rather have the same old Unityware, the same old Call of Duty, the same old Battlefield over and over again. Ike of Pike, Derek Smart was right. Listen, Derek Smart is right. 90 days tops. Any day now. It's all going to fall apart any day. Archie Duke, people have made better games without a budget. What? This idiot had millions and it's all down the drain with nothing to show. What? Oh, the pain. The pain that you can actually go and download the game and play it right now. What do you mean nothing to show? The game's right now. It's playable. Granted, there's only one system, but there's more coming. More game loops are coming. The mining is out now. There's going to be salvage. There's going to be bounty hunting. Bounty hunting's down. To say that it's not there, there's nothing to show off it. Let's read the responses. Delbert Hunter, thank you. YouTube and Twitch videos of backers playing the live release would beg to differ with your outright lie. Delbert, Archie doesn't care about your facts, all right? He just likes the feeling that is right. That's what it is. Mr. Fu coming in with more facts and logic saying, can someone explain to me why Star Citizen in Alpha has more gameplay videos on YouTube, more streamers on Twitch, than Elite Dangerous, EVE Online, and No Man's Sky? Naramson responded, because it's a train wreck and a cult at the same time. Double whammy. Not only is it a train wreck, it is a cult too, a cult train wreck or train cult wreck, if you will. People are waiting for the cult to implode like a house of dominoes. The game disappears into ether forever.
The rest of the dominoes will fall like a house of cards.
Oh, so painful. The Austeric Zebra asked, how do you get that info? Okay, remember the guy said Star Citizen has more views on YouTube, more streamers on Twitch. How do you get that info? More streamers than EVE Online. Based on what data? And even the number of EVE Online players very likely exceeds the number of streamers. I wouldn't judge by a metric alone. Oh.
Yeah, Razorface is full of...
Zach Hoofed calling him out. It's quite easy. I opened up my Twitch app at 3:30 Central Time on January 1st. There are currently 4,220 Twitch streams for Star Citizen, 1,100 for Elite Dangerous, and 188 for EVE Online. Joe's got more. Wow, just wow. Take some Xanax. The constant complaints of taking too long. Oh my God, 8 years and it will never come out. Red Dead Redemption took that long and Rockstar is a
taking a wrecking ball to him.
Joe's got more.
Oh yeah,
they don't
she
care
is.
about your facts, okay? Don't give them the facts and logic. They just want to be angry because the feelings are hurt, all right? But Joe's right here, and that is Red Dead Redemption. They showed some peaks about a year ago. The game came out, took 8 years to develop. How much did it cost? Now, I did try find out these numbers before I started this video, and there's no actual numbers because they didn't release it. But they are estimating 200 to 300 million, up to 400 million with the advertising and promotion costs, and 8 years. Keeping in mind that Rockstar is an established developer. They have offices with desks and computers and artists already there. Stick in the game. Here's the project. This is what we're doing. They made it in 8 years. Star Citizen, CIG, no offices, no desks, no computers to this point.
Oh, not much.
8 years. It's plausible.
In the news.
Cyberpunk announced the same time as
Razorface made a bad video about Star Citizen.
Crying about Cyberpunk
Montoya's
taking so
picking
long.
on.
Let me hear the crying people about Cyberpunk. No one's crying about it. Why? Why are people screaming and angry about Star Citizen and not about Cyberpunk taking the same amount of time? We'll get into that very, very soon. But he goes on to say, so many games come out in 4 years or less are crap. Let me remind you a few games recently. Fallout 76, No Man's Sky, Battlefront 1 and 2, Battlefield 5, Super Street the Game, Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery. What? Never heard about that.
Seems like Razorface was doing a little too much of this.
Thank you for laying down the logic.
And he was making his video.
You're not making a point here. You're not making any point because
I
the
kind
same
of think
people
that
screaming
maybe
about Star Citizen
had a
taking
play
this long
in
also
some of the
scream
things.
about Fallout 76 being released too early and Sea of Thieves simply being a rebranded ARC game, and will scream about games being released too soon and on the same breath say Star Citizen is taking too long. So what is it? What is it? What's the magic number for you? 4 or 5 years? The thing is, they don't know. They're not game developers. They're pulling numbers out of their behind. That's all it is. Corbin
Magic
Dallas,
number's
which is
number
a
one.
great character I love, but this guy does not. This is painful. I love when a vaporwave game becomes a cult. Here's the thing about the whole cult thing. When you've lost the argument and you have no foot to stand on, you resort to name calling. Ad hominem, attack the person, not the message. So Corbin Dallas here
Call me a
simply
chicken.
attacking, can't back up with facts. It's a cult. It's a cult. If you like Star Citizen, it's a cult because I have no logic. That's basically it. Oh, and I mentioned, in Before Montoya's Finesse Cry, it's a Kickstarter AAA game, give it time. Crashy J. So you have heard of me. Oh, here's a good one.
Wow.
That random guy, just judging by your avatar there, I can see that the random guy one is most likely a libertarian, and a lot of libertarians love hanging around in this channel. And if you are libertarian, then you well know that the biggest scam ever conceived is the Federal Reserve, not Star Citizen. Get it straight. I could go on and on. His comment section is pretty damn long. That's an impressive channel he has there. And I do actually watch a lot of his content, but he did need to be called out on what he did. And I just want to remind you, this pen is fucking amazing. Look at it. The brass is gold. It writes so well. This pen is the last pen you will ever own. It is wonderful. You should get it right now. Amazing pen. Does shouting and screaming really convince you? I want to know. Let me know if that actually does convince you or change your mind on things, if I do shout and scream louder, because maybe I should make my videos like that too. But look, we can't dismiss everything Razorfist has said. And like a lot of people did in his channel, I said, I agree with you on some, I disagree on others. I agree with him. Hey, 2016, they did say Squadron 42. I went to CitizenCon and I said, I can't wait to see what Squadron 42 is going to be about. I want Squadron 42 right there. I left.
Some people just want to set the world on fire.
$700.
Watch it burn.
But listen, we were disappointed. I was very disappointed in Squadron 42 not being released. But if there's a good reason for it, tell us why it's not being released. Well, they changed engines. Well, this happened. Well, look, there's reasons for it.
I wonder what Montoya would look if he got hit with a bunch of water.
You can be angry, or you can take the logic and the reasons for it. Chris Roberts said, no investment money. We don't need investors' money. But now he took $40 million of investors' money. Let's be angry about it. No, listen. I didn't back this game to pay for the advertising budget. I paid for the development. If he wants to bring in $40 million for 10%, he still owns 75% himself. The guys coming for 10% are not the publishers. He is still the publisher. He's holding all the cards. If he wants to bring in $47 million to pay for the promotion and advertising of the game.
Money.
Absolutely. Go for it.
Yes, money.
What was the advertising budget for Red Dead Redemption? They're being estimated advertising budget
of
$200 million. Probably the same what it cost to develop the game itself. I'm happy to bring in investors to take care of that part.
Well, that's the
we can go on with this for hours. Guys, let's wrap it up. If you enjoyed this content, as always,
Where's
thumbs
the
up,
money
drop your
button?
comments below. This beautiful test merchandise, link below there. And as always, a big thank you
I had a money
to
button.
my Patreon backers listed here. You guys are awesome. Thank you for your ongoing support. I will see you in the next video. You have a good day.
Oh, money rain. There we go. Money. All right. That was Montoya. I was kind of worried that he wasn't going to do any more of his videos.
You might
of
not
telling
know
people
this.
how it is. Put a link to Montoya's video here in chat for you guys. Give him a follow. 'Cause he... Okay, next up on our Star Citizen news list, a little bit more serious video from Minion Soldier. So he's breaking his content up, it looks. Last week we saw this one. So ship updates, pure clickbait thumbnail. It's only 11 minutes, so I guess I'm gonna click it. You're clickbait. Oh, that's the wrong one. Here we go. 8 hours ago. This is the one I wanted. P.S. The big score.
What's it worth?
Gonna give you like 200 cred.
Wait, what's
That's it.
Scum's first pirate haul worth? Give us.
That's right. This is a monumental moment right
Yeah.
here.
This is history. Hit us with the number.
Pirate show.
If I can't make it in 12 parsecs.
Oh, dude. Fuck, if you can't do it in 12 parsecs, so.
Every ship could do it in 12 parsecs.
What it's hyperdrive or hyper it's quantum drive
Right.
is supposed to be pretty fast, but it's sub CNC.
What is this? Star Marine?
Crossing pain.
Or is this the second floor of
So, Lahar, we're gonna get here, and they're gonna be leaving,
Rita?
right?
It's coming back in on our 9.
Don't look like Krita.
Oh, we got a Ziglos coming in now too.
Shocker should be right in front of us.
Well, welcome to the stream,
Asterisk
Waco
Vega's
Mako.
coming in.
I'm a longtime veteran of Star Citizen.
He's down.
I'm here for your
Hi, what's closest?
probing pleasure.
Andromeda. I see the freelancer again.
Whatever you might want to know, I probably do know.
Keep them in
Now I
front.
can find the
Oh,
answers.
he's fucking melted.
Got shit on.
Some of it might be my opinion, though. I'll tell you that.
Fucking Connie at the same time.
That was nice.
He just came in like a fucking like nebula just over.
Oh,
the
he's
mountain,
back.
just blow.
He's trying to come in.
Oh, you're dropping his shields.
That was actually
Oh,
good,
he's,
dude.
Oh, he's trying to focus shield cover.
I think
That
he
was
just
good.
tried to
He
down
focused
top us.
right in on the top pit there.
We didn't make it.
Something.
He lost an engine. He lost an engine. You were lighting up the ass too. Yep.
There he
Yep,
goes.
just got him.
Got him. Nice.
So it was the usual Saturday of blowing stuff up and shooting and just having fun. You know, this is really the time to be figuring these things out. What works, what doesn't work, and so that's what we were up to on Saturday again, having a lot of fun. And we kind of worked out a scheme where we were going to blow up our own hammerhead on the ground after everyone had gotten out of it, and then we were just going to kind of do a last man standing thing inside of Jumptown and just wait for people to come, obviously, who would be very incensed at what we had done and try to dig us out of there. Figured that was going to be a pretty fun game plan for the day. What we didn't
What are all these
notice
boxes
was
on the
that,
ground?
or didn't notice immediately, was that one of the ships that we had blown up had left its cargo behind.
Wow.
Now, a while ago in 3.1, this was actually something that happened in the PU whenever you destroyed the pirate caterpillar. It would spawn a whole bunch of crates into space and you could pick them up. Some of them could be sold, some of them couldn't. The downside to that was that it killed the servers. It literally killed the servers because pirate caterpillars were being blown up and they were spawning all these crates. And whatever has changed to allow this between now and then, I guess
that's a nice
they've
glitch.
resolved it, but all those crates were just kind of bogging the server down and eventually killing it. Whereas now it seems to be more functional, which kind of allows piracy to officially take place. This kind of puts it back into the game. Now, does this mean that we can do this? We can hunt down NPC cargo ships? No, because really NPC cargo ships aren't really here.
Object container streaming allowed them to do it because instead of tracking every object everywhere and in real time, it doesn't spawn that object until you can see that object. So that's the change that he's bewildered about what happened. Object container streaming.
Here yet. we're not really at a point where this is something that, you know, whether you're a pirate or if you're a legitimate player, you know, on the legal side of the universe, you can kind of say, oh, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and I'm going to attack the pirate caterpillars and take their illegal cargo, or what, you know, seize it and then return it to the authorities for a reward or reputation gain. You know, none of that is really in place yet, but it allows the beginnings of it to be seen and to be explored. And I thought that was, it's kind of a cool touch, you know, to have something like this, even though it's obviously in a very basic state of implementation. It is cool to have it. You know, of course, we would like to see some kind of tractor beams to make this go a little bit quicker, or maybe a portable tractor beam, something where you could kind of aim it at one crate and it might pull 2 or 3 of the smaller crates closer to it, and you could kind of lift it up and carry it that way. Whereas, you know, the heavier crates might require something more substantial, like a ship tractor beam or a powered armor suit like the Titan, to pick it up and place it within your ship. But it was fun to do. It was interesting. Now, whether this is going to be something that's simply a novelty now and then a pain in the ass later remains to be seen. But it was nice. It was a weird sense of, oh shit, you know, this is a little bit of progress. This is a little slice of the universe kind of coming to life. And so I was having fun with it. I mean, regardless of outcome, it made it more interesting. You know, it made the game more interesting. And it adds, I think, an interesting level of gameplay, because if you think about it, there's another place where you can do something like this, which is the Kovalex shipping hub.
Came out about 3 months ago.
Daymar. Of course, that place has been wrecked, but there are very large cargo crates floating around within it. And I think it was during the summer that I did a video where I went out there with the Cutlass and I tried to kind of bump some of those larger cargo crates into the Cutlass, in the hopes of, wow, you know, if I can get these in, I can take them to Olisar, maybe sell them, and maybe make money that way. And that would kind of create a different area where you could kind of get this type of jump town gameplay, where you could possibly get a mini game going on where people are inside and trying to bump the cargo into a cargo ship while there are others outside protecting that operation. It could create
their freelancers like totally bugged and broken
between different groups of players as they try to retrieve that cargo, and it could be on a bit of a respawn timer, sort of the way in the old 2.0 patches, the way the bottles of whiskey would appear within Korea. And so the longer you could hold out in Korea, the more money you could get pulling in the bottles of whiskey. So I thought that I think that those things could be pretty interesting to implement in game, and certainly
we get a major update 4 times a year,
and their cargo drops could create some interesting gameplay, especially
when they put
the
patches
more
in between
minded players, where if they're hunting down these cargo ships and they blow them up, especially if they're pirate cargo ships, they can retrieve the cargo for some kind of a reward as well. So hopefully this is something that CIG iterates.
Okay, I gotta pause the video because he's Waco Mako's asking a very important question. What ship should I buy? He's new to the game. First, you have to consider how much money are you willing to throw at the game. Then after that, you have to ask yourself what you're going to do in the game. So, there's some ships that are like $100, $125 that are pretty much all-around ships that you can do almost everything with, like cargo run, combat, and stuff like that. And that is the Cutlass Black. You want another ship that does almost anything and spend a little bit more money, you could get a Constellation. If you're interested in just fighting, then you're probably interested in, let's say, a Saber or a Super Hornet. you just want to do exploring and you don't want to break the bank, you don't want to get the Constellation Aquila, you're probably going to want to get the Freelancer Dur. So basically, you kind of like, you need to tell us, I want to go exploring and I have $250 to spend, or I want to go exploring and I have $100 to spend, or I want a combat ship and I have this much to spend. And then I can answer your question truthfully. You need to give me a price point and tell me what you want to do with the ship, or what you want to do in the game. You can spend $250 and get a ship that sucks gas clouds and turns it into fuel, and then you can sell fuel. Get a big cargo ship, like you can spend $300 and something and get a great big ship. Okay, so $150. What do you want to do with it? For $150, what do you want? You want a fighter, or you want to do cargo, or you want to do exploration? Tell Uncle Twister what you want to do. So you want an all-around ship for $150. I think we're going to be looking at possibly a Constellation, or maybe, let's see what we got here. Budget store. Game package. Now, do you already own the game? Do you already own a ship? So you're going to be melting something? So you already have a game package? Or do you need the game and the ship all together? Well, the Constellation is $275. That's out of your price range. So if you already got a Mustang, so basically you're going to get an upgrade. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to upgrade here, all ships. Ship upgrades. You click on this right here. And then you choose your ship, which will be your, you say Mustang. You know which Mustang you got? The Beta or the Alpha? The Beta? Alright, let's just click on the Mustang Alpha. Okay, so you click on your Mustang here, but make sure it's the right Mustang, because there's more than one Mustang. It needs to be the right one. And you go over here to choose ships. There's a bunch, they all come with packages. So when you go to do this, make sure you click on the right one. It's going to be an Alpha or a Beta or a Gamma. So scroll down here till you get like in your $150 range. It looks like you could get the Freelancer Max, but it's not for sale right now. But you could get a regular Freelancer and then upgrade that to the Max later. So you're looking at either a Freelancer, which is this one right here, or a Cutlass. Would be where's the Cutlass? The Cutlass Black. So you click on there. And then you would buy this, and then you're gonna get a voucher in your hangar, and then you'll click on your voucher and it'll say, do you want to apply this voucher to your Mustang? And then you click yes, and then it updates your package. So basically, you're gonna want to get the Freelancer or the Cutlass Drake upgrade. And that is the rightful answer to your question. Now back to the news.
It's on further and uses this as, you know, at least some kind of a building point moving.
Oh yeah, the
forward,
Taurus too.
Because
but that's the Taurus is a stripped down constellation with lots of space. It doesn't have lots of guns and it can't protect itself very well. So if you're looking for a great big like bus, but it's big, get the Taurus. So you can get the Taurus, the Freelancer, or the Cutlass. But the Taurus is a stripped down Connie. So basically, when the next sales come around, you can upgrade. Well, I guess you can upgrade the Connie at any time. You can get the Taurus, and then later on spend like $50 and upgrade it.
while the manual labor
to
isn't
a better
something
kind.
that I think I would look forward to over the long term, it certainly did, you know, change the course of this gameplay session and make for some interesting and different fun, which is definitely something that I think Star Citizen needs, especially right now. So hopefully going forward, certainly over the next year, hopefully
Yeah, the
we'll
Cutlass
see
is
more
like a
on the
great
roadmap
big
soon,
car
but what
with a
actually
big
makes
trunk.
sense, the game does offer a lot more moments like this.
Freelancers
lot
is like a
more
pickup truck,
interesting, if not,
and the Taurus is a
unplanned for
bus.
moments, which,
That's
you know,
one way to
sometimes
look
you
at it.
log into a game and you got kind of a plan. And you're like, okay, I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to do that plan. But sometimes things just pop up and they're fun and they're
Yeah, you'll get the
interesting. And this was
Andromeda.
definitely
You'll get a
one of
better
those
ship.
sessions. You know, it
You
was.
might want to
different.
get the
It was
Taurus.
fun, and I have to say that, you know, this was probably one of the most satisfying experiences I've had playing Star Citizen in a long time. Even though it seems like it's something very rudimentary and basic, it ended up being Scum's first pirate haul as a group. You know, certainly we've experimented with things like this before. We've retrieved a little bit of cargo from a downed ship in little missions as solo players. This was the first time we really had a full deck of cards here, and we actually went out and this just happened to be there. So we said, hey, why not? Let's do this thing. So we're going to get to the conclusion of this, and you're going to see, you know, the big money that we made at the end. But I kind of want to diverge a little bit, just quickly, because it has to do with this channel. And it's something that I've hinted at a number of times recently, that it was something that was going to happen. I thought it was actually going to happen before the new year, before Christmas. But due to scheduling and endless series of, you know, delays, it is only now just happening. So I am moving. This is now officially, you know, going to happen. This is going to be the last episode before I move, and hopefully about a week from now, maybe just a little bit after that, maybe next Tuesday, Wednesday is when episodes will start up again, because between now and then, I have to officially close out this place, shut down the internet, all of that, and then drive about 4,000 plus kilometers. So it's going to be something of an epic journey. And hopefully at the end of that, everything will be settled and I'll be able to just plug in and start uploading again. But for those of you that are curious, how much grand cash did we make on this legendary first pirate haul? Here you go.
Okay.
My party has disbanded.
Hurry up.
Tell us about the cash.
Okay,
No,
so
just see what the number is. Yeah.
at 0.01 AUC for 180 units, we have
0.01
made
AUC. Man, that don't sound too good. All right. That was Minion Soldier. Put a link to his video in here. You guys know each other from DayZ? Cool, cool. Okay, next up, I think I said that we were going to watch 3 videos from Ryan Supermac brother. Because he broke up his stuff in like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, and 9 minutes. Does anybody know if Oxford covered this Squadron 42 update? Because that seems like something that we might want to know about. Let's start there.
Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. So we have just recently had the Squadron 42 monthly report. We have had a bit of a dry spell with the holidays, so I'm very happy to get into something. What the monthly report is it goes through all the information and the progress that CIG have made on Squadron 42 this last month. So kicking it off with AI, in FPS combat, the Defend Area assignment was introduced. This also added behaviours to improve combat and patrol to work with this assignment. New behaviours and functionality have been added to support stealth gameplay, plus some new audible and visual stimuli have been added to allow players to draw the guard's attention, preparing traps, and basically opening blocked paths. Things like throwing a stone, for example, will distract them. They've also continued to work on the bartender in Lawville, expanding the usable functionalities. What that means is things that this bartender can interact with, things like a mop, a glass, a beer pump, those sort of things. So for animation, they are working on finalising the Armourer character for Squadron 42. This sounds like the guy that was on board the Idris, handing out weapons. For character art, they have polished the Van Duel armour and concentrated on the Navy Gunner outfit. I think we've seen the Navy Gunner outfit on the roadmap for Squadron 42. In cinematics, they're ensuring that each scene functions as it should from start to finish, and they do say they've also worked on a pivotal scene featuring a key character not yet revealed. No idea who that could be. For engineering, they've worked on a system which limits how far players can turn their heads independently from their bodies, depending on what armour they are wearing. For example, heavy armour will restrict the range, and this sounds good. It's to do with the aiming down sights, maybe moving your head freely from your body. It makes sense that if you're wearing heavy armour, you won't be able to turn your head as far as you would wearing no armour. Also, pickup and carrying of items was finished, which includes interacting with things in EVA. Hopefully that is much smoother and less jerky than it has been. Work continues on the female character, ensuring that she can reach all the ship controls without having to recreate all the new animation sets. Also, a Tannoy-style system has been introduced to pump audio out around the environment.
Yeah, now you said DJ
whether that's
Night,
a
I think
single
so
ship
too.
hangar or maybe a global ship-wide announcement. This, I think, will be great. Hopefully, calling up the engineering department and chatting to them from the bridge. Hopefully, it's something
Anyways,
along
he's
those
here
lines.
now.
I can't
He's
wait
part
to
of the
get that in
family.
PU. It's going to be very useful when
We
trying
welcome
to
him.
multi-crew big ships. And finally, for engineering, they have tweaked ship behavior using this new IFCS to just get more robust dogfighting in-game. Now, the environment art have been using the new hard shader or hard surface shader for wear and tear. This enables a more realistic appearance of localized damage without a jarring transition between pristine to worn areas. Lighting is focused on the Javelin, making one key light do all the work, which they say looks great and is less demanding, so that will probably roll out to many of the other ships. The Shuban station itself, the Shuban mining base, this gains some more detail. They focus a lot on the Shuban mining station bridge, they say, which is apparently 3 times the size of the Bengal Carriers bridge. For graphics, this new hard surface shader was rolled out. Should improve performance as well. This allows new surface shading features and enables a more dynamic wear and dirt effect. For props, the team have created additional sub-items used by engineering crew and the storage cases to house them. Now I'm hoping this is similar storage that we will get when it comes to holding spare subcomponents, part of the engineering gameplay. If your component dies, you could replace the full component, or you could take a subcomponent out of it, a bit like a fuse that has a benefit, and then replace it. So it might be a way of storing them around your ship. For system design, they have integrated the new flight model into the enemy ship AI as mentioned before. They are making sure that they will still be engaging and balanced, but they're also working on ways to alter the behavior of the AI pilots, as they tend to just go straight to a jousting method. For tech animation, they have progressed with a new batch of transfers of the male animations to the female skeleton. The female character can now run and gun like normal, just needs a little bit further polish. For tech art, they're currently figuring out the DNA gene pool requirements for the new customizer, ensuring that they get the most diversity, using as many characters with different facial features or skin colors as much as possible. The planned release will initially use as many of these as possible from the selection scanned, but no numbers were given, and I have no idea if they're going to use my face or not either. For UI, they have worked out some improvements of how the augmented reality mission objectives are displayed to the player, so mission markers, those sort of things. They're working also on an area map feature using systems from when the location was created to help the player navigate, and also this map will get more defined as the player traverses the environment for the first time, and that's going to be very useful. We have nothing on the ground to tell us where to go. Very useful in landing zones if we get the option to have them there. For the vehicle features, the team has spent some time working on vehicle scanning improvements. This is the groundwork to allow ships to target ship engines or particular areas. The engine targeting has now been completed, but it also allows for scanning nav points for destination information. That has also been completed and is now ready for implementation. Finally, for visual effects, they have continued to iterate on lighting effects, creating a much finer detail effect with much less cost. They've developed a tool to help artists create these VDBs, which are kind of like your gas cloud sort of volumetric areas, quickly and with more control, which is great news. And also thrusters are getting improved. They're now gaining new effects and functionality like damage, overheat and misfire options. And finally, R&D for a Zhaan missile launcher has kicked off. Now, to finish off this post, they did have an image of the new Titan armor concept, which does look pretty cool. Cannot wait to take it into the wild. It wasn't anything that I would have thought it would look like, but yeah, that's the image right there. Anyway, that was the Squadron 42 monthly report, guys. Let me know what you found the most interesting or most exciting. Big thank you to my patrons. If you want to support my channel even further, please follow the link below in the description to my Patreon page. Follow me over on twitch.tv/SuperMattBrothersRyan. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.
Okay, next. I don't know why my bank heist isn't. What I did wrong. That's up to you. one joystick or two joysticks?
Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome.
That's preference.
So, today is the final day of the Freelancer series of videos of...
I use a Thrustmaster Warthog setup, which is a joystick and a throttle. And then I also have a left-handed gamepad called a Razer Orb Weaver and my mouse. And then I also have another stick, which is a Thrustmaster 1600M. And it all depends on what I'm doing. But I play in a cockpit, like a full-blown cockpit. Try to up a picture here. What's going on here at the house? My room's messy. Okay, but this right over here is the streaming PC, the i9. This is my gaming PC, and I'm sitting in here right now, and it's the right here is where the Warthog that's currently under the seat right here. I grab that and I put the stick here in the center of my legs. I got the stick right here. Then over here's that gamepad I was talking about. And then, yeah, I got pedals. I mean, it all depends on how far you want to take it. Here's my space heater because I freeze my ass off down here in the basement. This right here is the Nubifier's old motherboard, his last computer. This right here is my cool 360 controller with a gamepad on it. Probably got more pictures. Let me get to my pictures. New, putting together my video card. There's my arcade machine. Arcade machine, pretty nice. For retro. No, here's my cockpit. Here we go. Yeah. Messy again. The special peanut butter for my diet. It's really almond butter.
Of why should you choose this ship? Now, this is a series in which we take a look at each ship and try and decide what the ship is useful for, who should really buy it, or not just buy it, but earn it in-game. We're not looking at buying them with real cash anymore. We're more looking at whether you want to pick them up in-game and where they'll come in handy, what sort of scenarios you might expect with them. It's on a bit of a slant, unfortunately. That was my landing skills right there. So this is the Freelancer MISS, or MIS. I think it stands for Missile. It is a pretty well, it's known as a gunship, kind of a militarized edition of the Freelancer variants where it sacrifices its cargo space.
Here's one of the Freelancers I was telling you about, Waco. This right here is the military version of the Freelancer. This one will haul cargo, and it's got weapons up the wazoo, man. It's like got more missiles on it than anything. So this is in your price range, this ship right here. So I'll back it up, pay attention.
Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. So today is the final day of the Freelancer series of videos of why should you choose this ship. Now, this is a series in which we take a look at each ship and try and decide what the ship is useful for, who should really buy it.
Looks like size 2 and size 3 missiles.
We're not looking at buying them with real cash anymore. We're more looking at whether you want to pick them up in game and where they'll come in handy. What sort of scenarios you might expect with them.
Those are Gatling guns.
Unfortunately, that
don't get hot.
My landing skills right there. So this is the Freelancer MISS, or MIS. I think it stands for missile. It is a pretty well, it's known as a gunship, kind of a militarized edition of the Freelancer variants, where it sacrifices its cargo space for extra missiles. Now, it's like the other Freelancers, 38 meters in length. It is 23 and a half.
Those two boobs right there are for the tracking systems for the missiles.
Half meters wide and 9.5 meters in height. Again, all the components inside are medium-sized.
Just get
Minimum
the regular
crew of 2,
Freelancer and
maximum
then you
of 4.
upgrade
But
it when the
unlike the
sale
other
comes back
Freelancers,
around.
I wouldn't recommend using this ship solo, purely because this
is right here is where the missiles come out. There's this whole thing inside when he gets there. It's all full of missiles. This thing carries like 200 missiles.
is designed to be fighting. It's designed to be in an environment where
What
having
Akron
more
said
crew
is
is
true.
definitely a good idea. And if you're focusing on flying, you don't want to be focusing on trying to
I can show you
shoot and
all the
navigate.
ships that you might want to buy. But then again, you
this
can just go to
outfit
the
that I'm wearing
PTU. Hang on.
is-
Isn't PTU free to fly right now? Couldn't he download the PTU and fly all the different ships he wanted to right now? So instead of downloading the live, couldn't he get into the PTU and do that? Somebody could check on that and verify it for him. That would be awesome.
the Rust outfit. For some reason, I can't look around.
Oh, you don't get
Anyway,
every ship anymore.
It's a new subscriber. Spacesuit. So it's got a cargo, I believe, of 28, but it could be 36. The old stat page says 28. I have seen it say 36 elsewhere. If you know for certain, do
They
let me know in
release
the
it in
comments
waves.
below. But
Like
it is
it'll
quite
start
a
out
beast.
subscription,
Now it
and
has
then they'll release it to everybody.
4 size 3 Gallatin Tactical Mantises.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. Blow the crap up.
GT20s. I know it says on the website that they're supposed to be...
Now, it's to my understanding that this is not the same as a having these on a fighter ship. Because this is the MISC, I guess there's like extra ammo inside, because you can fire these like way longer than you can inside of a Hornet. Like a Hornet, you'll run out of ammo. With this thing, you just don't run out of ammo. And this doesn't use the power of your so you're not taking away from your shields, and you're not building any heat. So basically this is really cool, dude, because there's all kinds of ammo inside the ship somewhere for these Gatling guns. It's amazing.
Ballistic or some sort of ballistic cannons. These are ballistic cannons, but they're the Mantis cannons.
Yeah, it's ballistic.
They're all on gimbals.
Gatling
really
guns.
decent loadout. It's also got a size. Well, it's got a turret with, I'd assume, size 2 weapons on, but unfortunately, I can't make out what weapons they are. So again, if you have any idea, do let me know. That the stats page needs to be updated.
Then you got the turret
You have
up
a turret,
there.
so that's quite useful.
I believe that these are ballistic too, and if they're not, that would be a repeater because there's 2 barrels. This is either a repeater or some type of 2-barrel ballistic gun. I cannot just look at it and tell you what it is, but he probably is going to tell.
Useful. Again, a reason to have an extra crew member. Now, missiles-wise, it shows these. It's got 8 size 2 weapons on, but unfortunately, I can't make out what weapons they are. So again, if you have any
he
idea,
can't make them out either.
do let me know. That the stats page
So he's no smarter
needs to
than
be
me.
updated. But you have a turret, so that's quite useful. Again, a reason to have an extra crew member. Now, missiles-wise, it shows these. It's got 8. These are a size 3 Arrester CM. So, oh, sorry, CS. So they're cross-section missiles. It targets the ship's size as a signature. And there's 8 of them. But then on the inside, let me just show you this. It has 20 size 3 Thunderbolt. Again, not again, EM missiles this time. So electromagnetic missiles. It is all still a little bit in flux in terms of weapons.
Alright, so these right here are missiles. and they get loaded up and shot up through that compartment I showed you. And this ship's in your price range. So you would start out by getting the regular Freelancer, and then like 3 times a year the ship goes for sale and you would wait, then you'd spend the extra $15 and upgrade to it.
Weaponry and so forth, so yeah, do beg your pardon if it's not all 100%, but it's a pretty decent loadout all the same. It comes in a nice olive drab colour, which is great, I think, and it really suits the ship for the military sort of security style gameplay. But this is the room where you have the missiles that can be loaded in and out.
I don't know if it did or
you'll be
not.
able to do it yourself.
We can
to
find
a
that
degree.
out.
I'm not sure about that.
When we play Star Citizen next,
This is the
hopefully
room,
with Ox.
so sacrifice the cargo space for that. Like in the Freelancer 2, you've got the extended fuel tanks
if he wants to
and
play,
the tanks to regenerate
Friday.
fuel or harvest fuel. And in the Max, it's just more cargo space. Now, I personally see this ship being useful in 3 areas. It will be useful in other areas, but 3, I feel, is where I see it. So you've got escorting, patrolling, and resupplying. Now, escorting, due to the fact that the Freelancer is a medium-sized ship, it can carry a very decent offensive loadout. Having a ship like this escorting a trading ship like a Hull C, for example, or above, you know you have a good chance of handling any situation. Plus, you do have a crew of at least 2+, should you need reinforcements for anything, if things go south, or to help board and, just help out the crew on board. I do see 1 or 2 of these Freelancer miss escorting important cargo, maybe if you're escorting a large supply of something valuable, or maybe just a VIP. I would definitely think twice if I saw one of these escorting a ship. They're going to pack a punch. Now, for patrolling, this is the second area I think it would be useful in. If you have built an outpost, for example, or a settlement using this land claim, or just defending a location, having a miss or 2 to patrol the area would give peace of mind. So you just have landing pads for them to either remain rested until something happens, or you have them flying around, checking out the area. Again, additional crew means that the pilot can focus on flying while the other members can search for potential trespassers, checking signals and searching the environment. Seeing a miss fly overhead, I think if you're venturing into someone else's sort of property, you would definitely think twice about trespassing. Also, you could stick a dragonfly, I would think, in the back. And if you needed to go on land, you could have one guy, like a couple of guys going on land to intercept while the others hang above and just keep check. Now, the final area is resupplying, and I think this would work really well, especially in dangerous environments. If you've got ground troops in a battle, for example, fighting it out, and they're running low on ammo or health, using the MISC 36 or 28 standard cargo units to drop off a nice chunk of ammo could really change the battle. But with that said, you could also ferry out injured players or reinforce with fresh troops, or even provide some sort of cover fire cast effect while doing so. So it has a lot of usage. It sounds like it's raining, but it's not. This is Aberdeen, by the way, the one of the third moon in Hurston, or one of 4. So yeah, that's just 3 options where I think the MISC would come in handy. It is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with in combat. There's just so much to the Freelancer series, and I think the MISC the MISC is one of those that will be very much used by not just military style orgs, but just people wanting a bit of security, wanting extra protection. Definitely a good choice if that's what you're looking for. So if you're wanting to run missions, run escorting or patrolling or resupplying, or if you're looking to buy land, you're an org owner like myself, and you want to make sure your guys and your members are safe, having one of these patrolling an area, I think.
So Waco, there's 4 different freelancers. There's the regular one that's always for sale, and about 3 times a year, the other 3 are for sale. And the other 3 are the MISC, which is this military version right here, the DUR, which is set up for exploration. It's got extra scanners in it. And then there's the MAX, which is set up for hauling stuff. But all 3 of them are pretty much all-around ships that you could do almost anything you want with. But some are stronger in some areas. There's 4 different freelancers. The base one's for sale all the time. The other 3 you have to wait for. They come up for sale 3 times a year.
Will do very well. It has its boobies as well, so what's not to like? Anyway,
Boobs.
that was the last of the
I like
freelancers.
boobs.
Now, I won't bother doing the base. The base is just the base. It's, you know, it's a step up. I might do the base. We'll have a look. I guess we should, because it's not just a normal ship review. It is a proper
It does look pretty
look
awesome.
at
I saw
what
somebody doing
the
it.
use of them
earlier.
are. As I say, if you like these series, hit me a thumbs up. It tells me that you're really liking it, and I'll keep doing it. Different perspective on ships rather than
Yeah,
just
if you're
monetary
including like
value
dogfighting, because a
size-wise.
freelancer does not dogfight.
Be sure to
well.
head over to twitch.tv/SuperMacBrothers. Ryan, really enjoying hanging out with you guys on stream and getting you all involved. Getting some funny footage going as well, which I'll probably put on YouTube soon. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Big shout out to my
All right. These ones will be quick. 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and 3 minutes. Star Citizen roadmap update. What's changed since 2018?
Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. So Friday brought the
graphics are
first
off
PU
the
roadmap
hook.
update of 2019.
You see every hair on
Unfortunately,
his
it didn't
face.
include the addition of 3.7 and 3.8. However, they have said that they are working on this, and we can expect them to appear on the roadmap soon, so here's hoping for next week. With that said, here is what has changed since the last update. It is only 3.5, as there's nothing happened in 3.6. For characters, the DNA face customization is at 33 out of 75. Last time we heard it was at 29 out of 65, so they have completed 4 tasks but added a further 10. In locations, Arccor's moon Lyria is at 8 out of 13. It was at 8 out of 9, so they've added 4 more tasks there. I'm pretty sure that was in polishing at one point though, but I could be wrong. Arccor's moon Wala, the other moon, is at 1 out of 5. That was at 1 out of 1, so they've added a further 4 there. Probably the same for both moons, just a bit of further development. Area 18 landing location is at 122 tasks out of 316 complete. Now, last time you heard that was at 13 out of 121, so they have completed 109
the
tasks,
chat
which
does
is a great
announce
amount.
it.
But they've added
every,
195,
20
and my
minutes or
guess is
so.
that because they have until the beginning of March to get all this
But I
complete,
could brand it
probably just
on my,
adding additional tasks to ensure it looks better and it's at a higher
on my
quality,
stream.
and keeping
You're
the
right.
location team guys working
I don't know
away.
if I can make it
So for
clickable,
gameplay,
though.
the only
I
one
can
that's
put it
changed in
there.
there is the reputation and law system version 1. That is at 0 out of 2 tasks complete. It was at 1, 0 out of 1 task. So no actual movement, but they have added a further task there. For ships and vehicles,
Well, an easy way to remember it is you go to twistergaming.com. And then under games, go to Star Citizen and click on it here. That's one way to get to it. And then another one is StarCitizenGaming.com. And the other one is NewsStarCitizen.com. So, yeah. There's 3 ways to win.
the Origin M50 improvements is, again, no actual completion. It's now at 0 out of 7. It was at 0 out of 8. So again, just adding another task. For the Banu Defender, that is at 12 out of 51. Last week, it was at 12 out of 59. So they've removed some tasks there, meaning that there is less tasks to do until it's complete. For Cortec, the Projectile Manager, so this is implementing the new physics system that will improve the projectile functionality and realism in game. This is to do with firearms, so FPS firearms and ship firearms. That is at 1 out of 8. It was at 0 out of 1, so it shows that work has now begun on this, which I'm very excited for. The hard surface shader improvements. This is to do with wear and tear and making things degrade and just look more realistic. That is at 1 out of 4. It was at 1 out of 5, so they've removed the task. And then general performance optimization, which is just your general all around making things smoother is at 1 out of 2. Last time we heard that was at 0 out of 1, so again, progress has been made there. So not a great lot of information, unfortunately. Most likely the holidays have slowed down the progress, but I am happy that CIG are back, and hopefully we will see some more progress and the addition of 3.7 and 3.8 and potentially beyond on the roadmap next week. Anyway, big thank you to my Patreons, guys. Thank you so much for your support. If you do want to support this channel further, it is much appreciated. Follow the link to my Patreon page below. Be sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe button. Follow me over on twitch.tv.
That's some major Botox they're shooting in those faces.
And I shall see you in the next one.
Okay, Star Citizen Sunday, FPS 3D map, multi-story stations, and ship sounds. I about had it with sounds, but it's only 4 minutes.
Hello and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all the news from Star Citizen from the week just past. I am your host Mac, so let's get on with it. So this week, ATV is back. We see how the local FPS map is coming along, plus the current status of 3.4. So before we begin, just a quick update of the current status of the PTU and the patches. As of today, Star Citizen Alpha 3.4.1 is on the live servers, open to everyone. The build 3.4.2b patch is available to all backers as well, but this is only on the PTU, which is voluntary whether you want to go into it or not. Now, these little patches that they've got are fixing many of the bugs which have accumulated over the holiday season since 3.4.1 was released. You'll be happy to know that the canopy randomly opening and closing bug is now fixed, but there's still plenty of quality of life improvements to go. No word as of yet when we will see 3.4.2 come to the live servers, but the more issues they fix, the better. So with this week, we're back to ATVs again. The first look was in the Foley audio, which is the audio team has been recently recording for a variety of practical sounds like bullet impacts, interactive prop sounds, and so forth. They also recorded some metal collision sounds to emulate debris from ship parts being broken or destroyed, plus metal objects under stress and strain, which will be used when the ship hulls are under strain from damage or atmosphere, which is going to sound very cool. Also, lots of sounds recorded for hangars. They're using large impacts for when ships land, slide, or come into contact with other objects. For ship flight, the devs have been working on various aspects of the flight, including combat, landing, takeoff, heat management, and atmospheric flight. They're also tweaking the controls based on the feedback from players who got to try out the new flight model at CitizenCon, and just dialing in the throttle logic and control, just to name a few. They also spoke about the procedural layout tool, so as they build out the Stanton system, they do continue to improve and refine the procedural tools that they use to create all these massive environments. One tool they use is the procedural layout tool. This takes all the assets that CIG have developed for the interiors of space stations and so forth, and generates multiple layouts, each different to the last. This means that the developers don't need to spend time handcrafting each location individually, which saves massive amounts of time and keeps things various. They did sort of say that we're going to start seeing some larger rest stops and space stations coming soon as well, and you can see an example of them here. So finally, for ATV, we took a look at the 3D local area map. This is at the end of previous phase. Basically, this is the on-foot version of the star map. So this will aid us when walking around ships, around stations, and any location on the ground, toggling between floors and potentially seeing enemies. They still need a lot more work to do for this and a little bit more visual polish, but personally I love the look of it. It's going in the right direction. It looks clear and easy to understand. I have got a separate video of the road of this map coming up on Monday, so be sure to check that out. So also this week, the latest Galactic Guide brings us the Cabal system. January's subscriber flare is a new Rust Society undersuit, which is apparently coloured appropriately to hide the dirt, wear and tear. I wonder if this is something to do with the new hard surface shader that's coming in 3.5. Also for subs, the new portfolio post focused on a criminal organisation known as the Otoni Group. And finally, just for your heads up, although the roadmap has been updated this week, they have yet to add 3.7 and 3.8, but they did mention that they are currently working on an updated roadmap which will include the 3.7, 3.8. patches as well, and that should be coming pretty soon. So that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and share the video with all your friends. If you like what I do and want to help me make it better, follow the link below to my Patreon page to learn more.
Here we go. One more. Star Citizen, the local area map. That's it.
Map does, but for on foot. This Hello, Ryan here, aka Max, and welcome. So on the most recent ATV, we got the first look at the upcoming Mobiglast local map. Now this is known as the local area map, and it does exactly what the current star map does, but for on foot. This basically shows the local area of where you are on foot, be it in a ship, at a station, on a planet, just giving you a better understanding of where you are, what's around you, and help guide you to where you may need to go. Now aesthetically, I personally think it looks great. I love the blue and its various shades, which distinguish what you are, what you've discovered, what you've seen, what you know, where you are. The light blue is, it appears to be your location and the discovered area. The faded transparent blue means it's undiscovered, and the darker faded blue shows it's on another level. You can actually see the stairs and the doors, plus as you get close to something, it reveals more information about the area. They also have a switch level option, so if you're going up or down one level, you can change it to ensure that you have the best understanding of the location. I would love to see the option to toggle on and off the walls or the ceilings, just to clean it up a little for when you may need it, but there's plenty of time for further adjustments. Now, something they did mention was the ability to potentially see enemies on the map. The difficulty, he says, is knowing how to distinguish between whether it's a player or an AI. Now, personally, I feel they shouldn't distinguish. They should let the player figure that out for themselves based on what they can see, what they can hear. That, I feel, I'd love to hear your opinions on that, guys, but that's how I feel about it. I don't mind that we can see enemies on the map so long as it makes sense that we can.
If it's my ship and I own the ship, then my ship should be relaying me information about the people on my ship, and it should know who's supposed to be there and who's not. So when you're on my ship, my crew should have red dots for the enemies. When I'm on an enemy ship and it's not my ship, it should all be blue. Or maybe I shouldn't get any information at all because it's not my ship. What do you guys think? That's kind of like how I feel. If you don't own it, then the computer's not going to tell you that the enemies are there. If you own it, most definitely I should know what's the enemy blue.
Maybe they appear because you heard them, maybe they shouted or fired a weapon, or potentially you could have a better radar built into your helmet, maybe a heartbeat sensor or an audio enhancement module, just sort of aftermarket upgrades for your helmet, adding a bit more variation. Also, do notice that when he did discover a new area, it revealed these little points of interest. Maybe it's a weapon stash or a power plant or even a vent, one appears to be, giving you more knowledge of the environment, which could help you work out a better route if you're trying to flank around or escape from somewhere. You know, think like Alien Isolation for that matter. Now, I do love the look of this feature, and it is obviously still heavily in development, and will likely change somewhat before releasing to us, but I'm very excited to get this in my hands and just sort of see how useful it is. Even just for helping guide me around a ship or at a landing location like Lorville, these sort of locations and ships are getting much bigger, and it is getting very difficult trying to navigate around without a proper map. I'm also hoping that we get this kind of feature present in briefing rooms of ships so that you can maybe mark or highlight or interact with the map and then share that in that map with your group or others in your group. Maybe not, obviously not straight away. This is something for the long-term future, but it's a good step in the right direction. Do let me know what you think of this map. If there's anything that I've missed off on it, point it out to me. I do like to try and know as much as I can. What do you like? What don't you like? But as a starting point, I feel like it's going well. Anyway, a big shout out to my Patreons, guys. Thank you so much for your support. If you do want to support my channel further via Patreon, it is much appreciated. The link is below should you want to do so. Hit that thumbs up, guys. Hit that subscribe. And also follow me over on twitch.tv.
We will. Promise we will. Link that video right now. Alright, I would like to take a moment to say some things that I really can't say when I'm watching Oxford stream with you guys, because I don't feel like writing a book and I'd probably misspell, and because I can only reach my keyboard with my left hand, or I'm always on my phone. Typing just sucks. So basically why I've been so discouraged is because I've come to the realization, because for some reason Twister has the ability to expand boxes in his mind to see the big picture. And what's going on with the big picture is object container streaming was great, but server meshing is needed for us to have Star Citizen as a game. Now, server meshing is an extremely complicated thing. And this might be a shocker to you people, but it hasn't even been started yet. Not even square one. And the reason why it hasn't been started yet is because you need a complete server code. You need the server code in order to mesh something. So if the server code is not finished, you can't even begin to try to mesh it. So basically, until Star Citizen's completely, totally fleshed out and completed for the 50-person server, none of the server meshing work can even start. So, I mean, SIG can fool a lot of people, but Twister's a programmer. I hand type websites. I go to work and I type in programs in the robots to make them do stuff for Ford Motor Company. I am fully understanding what they're doing and how they're building the game out. And I'm telling you that, dude, 2025 is probably being like super generous. I mean, they need to totally complete a 50-person server in its entirety and have all that network code established before they can even begin to try to mesh it. And then they could do all that work to get the server ready, and then meshing them together could never happen. And then we're going to end up with a 50-person co-op game. Hey, buddy, how you doing? 700. Nice to see you back. But if you're following what I'm saying, the game could really, honestly, end up being a 50-person cap, meaning I'm going to take my Icarus out, and we're never going to see other people besides the people on my Icarus. We're going to be totally in an AI environment. It'd be like a co-op game. So there's a great chance that server meshing might not ever happen, and it's just going to be a 50-person co-op game. I mean, I want it to happen, but damn, if they need to get the original code put together first. I just can't see people waiting that long for them to get the game completely finished on one server and then say, oh, now we got this great big project of server meshing that's going to take another 2 years. That's I don't know. And that's why I've been bummed out, is because I can see the big picture and it doesn't look good.
TV/.
Oh, I just linked that. Okay. So, on to the next video. Sorry for the bad news, but that's the truth. I'll be 60, man. It's not funny. I don't want to be 60. 12 hours ago. It looks like we're going to get the news done, and then that's probably going to be it for the night, because it's going to be like 5 a.m. here. But tomorrow we shouldn't have that much news to cover, because Oxford didn't do the news yesterday, and he hasn't been covering a lot. So we had a lot of stuff actually that was built up to watch today. There shouldn't be that much tomorrow, and we should get into gameplay. And I think we're going to do Divinity 2, or possibly Soda if Acrid's got tomorrow off or something. Soda is Shroud of the Avatar.
Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen with some news and patch notes. 2 PTU patches, 3.42a and 3.42b, were both released since I last put out an update, so I'll truncate them together here and give you a quick weekly news roadmap update too, as there's only a very minor amount to get through there. No real changes to the roadmaps yet. Basically, various task numbers got added, so some tasks went up from 50 to 60 and some little tasks got polished and finished. But for 3.5 and Squadron 42, nothing really slipped or been added yet, so nothing really to say yet about them. We should see a fuller update, however, at the end of this week, Friday. Hopefully that will give us a bit beyond what's actually happened to any features in 3.5, 3.6, open up 3.7, 3.8 to see where they want to put features, and see some more updates on the Squadron 42 roadmap as well. In the weekly newsletter, there was a sneak peek at the rework of the Joker Sucker Punch weapons. There was a challenge coin keyring merch thing that went on sale for those of you that are interested on the RSI merch store page, and CIG don't expect a monthly report until the start of February to come out, so please bear that in mind. Boom! Patch notes. So, Alpha 3.4.2b is currently available to all backers on the PTU, and the A and B PTU updates had a few additions over the initial release PTU. They've adjusted quantum travel drive overheat and cooldown times for smaller ships, additional audio effects for mining arm transitions, and actions have been added. Leaving pilot seat and returning while in quantum travel should now no longer break quantum travel's HUD. Players should no longer spawn at map origin when logging out in a ship bed while not in close proximity of a base. Various sections of Lorville Hab should no longer be missing ambience and audio cues. Kreia assassination missions are no longer advertised across the entire Stanton system. Ship canopies should no longer open-close randomly by themselves. Ships should no longer experience limited functionality following instance recovery after a crash. L-Bridge missions should now correctly spawn objectives and markers. Com video calls should now return when players return within distance of each other, and they fixed 5 client crashes and 6 server crashes. There are still some major known issues with the patch though. Dropped mission crates can sometimes transport to map origin and become unrecoverable. That is really annoying if you are trying to complete missions. Wreck ship rentals show as undefined and cannot be completed sometimes. Ship AI can appear immobile and in a bad state. Basically, they can go AFK is what I find. Commodities purchased via kiosks are removed when the ship is spawned, which is obviously terrible for any form of trading. And if you don't get to a kiosk quick enough once you've landed to your ship down on a planet or wherever, you can literally lose all the commodities you were trading. And alt-tabbing may cause the game to crash. The testing focus is still general gameplay. When I last logged on, players of the patch had the ability to test the Hammerhead, 600i, Hornet F7C, Wildfire, Nox, and the full complement of Cyclone and Freelancer variants, in addition to the normal ships on their account, which is pretty cool. I believe that's actually still available at time of recording on the PTU. Was supposed to be just for the weekend, but I think it's still open. There's some other issues that I found. Mobiglass stuttering and other opening issues for the Mobiglass seem to be related to server problems. How long the server's been up for. Fresh servers or ones that don't have so many players in don't have problems with my Mobiglass opening. However, I do have some problems with my Mobiglass stuttering or not opening at all if I've been on a server for a long period of time or there's loads of players there. There are still issues with ships not being locked when they spawn, which means you just get random people on your ships when you're at Grimhex or whatever. So they need to have ships potentially, yeah, you should be able to break into them at some point, potentially in the future or whatever, when they remove armistice zones. But at the moment, just having a ship spawn and not being there and someone just walking into it and taking it all over is annoying. There's been loads of problems with 600 eyes, which they need to fix. That problem with losing your cargo in ships when they get put into storage is hell, obviously. I've still seen ships canopies opening randomly, but I think that is being dealt with. People have also reported lots of different crashes when alt-tabbing the game. That is not appropriate for me. I need alt-tabbing when I'm recording for long periods of time. So FPS AI actually seemed a lot more active in the missions I did. They were running around, using a bit more cover, as well as actually engaging me. Still not much of a threat, but a lot better than it's previously been when I've been fighting them. There's a lot of bugs and quality of life issues with the patch at the moment, but it is a PTU patch. In my opinion, they really need to fix pretty much all that we just mentioned before they consider a live build. And I would expect a 3.4.2 live build by the end of this week. I'm hoping they're not trying to push it earlier than that, without fixing some of those major problems there.
Friday.
Every month we have a giveaway for a Star Citizen ship. For January, we have a standalone Anvil Carrack, the mighty explorer vessel. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and then comment on any of my videos released during the month. You can find more details in the comments below. If you don't have a gaming PC yet, or you are upgrading, instead consider Shadow Cloud Gaming. They allow you to leverage the powers of the internet to stream a high-spec Windows 10 environment to any other PC, Mac, or device like a smartphone or tablet. It is working really well in Star Citizen's 3.4 branch, and be sure to use the code BOARDGAMER if you do decide to check it out to get a discount. Links below. For those of you wanting to support the channel further, there is Patreon, and I will be looking for an alternative platform as well for people that have requested that. But in addition, or as an alternative to that at the moment, there's the YouTube channel memberships, literally the join button below this video, or direct donations via the links below as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help me. Any feedback or opinions is greatly...
All right. Board Gamer. Here's a link to Board's video. Got Nubifier deck. So I want to start here. He's doing these gear shorts, which is he's doing these hardware reviews, which are pretty good.
Hello YouTubers, this is the Nubifier. I recently did a video on a product from Gamdius, which was their 240mm all-in-one cooler. That video is linked up for you right now.
It's a beautiful
cooler, by the way. It performed very well, and as expected from such a large surface, it kept an overclocked 9600K well below throttle at a near silent operation. The feedback from the video was positive, so they contacted me again to sponsor this video. My first impressions when I looked at their products were that they'd put looks
I gotta
first.
back it up because I gave them those cables.
This video. From the video was positive.
I gave him these. He did a really good job. I don't have the patience to do that shit. My cables don't look like that. Oh, he used the wire looms I gave him too. Sweet. Nice.
So they contacted me again to sponsor this video. My first impressions when I looked at their products were that they'd put looks first. When researching, I didn't find a single product that they made that didn't include individually addressable RGB. They offer RGB power supplies, RGB cases, mice, keyboard, and even an RGB gaming chair. I actually think they're the only ones that do that. That might make a would-be customer worried about performance, but in talking to Gamdius over the past few months, they offer the aesthetics that the community seems to want after the performance has been considered. They've embraced the trend of RGB and then dialed it to 11. If the product performs well and also has the aesthetics, then to me, there's no issue. It has to work well first, and you can always turn the lights down or off. The M1-1204R is a kit of 4 fans, control box, and a remote. The control box can operate standalone or can connect directly to a motherboard that's supported by RGB Fusion, Aura, Mystic lights, which are the most common in the industry. When configured to motherboard on the remote with the proper wiring connected, the lighting is synchronized with the rest of the system and it's going to follow whatever patterns you've activated in the software. Where I think this set really shines is using the remote and set to independent. I've had
nice.
it installed on my VR PC, which is dead center of the studio. Once I got RGB out of my system, I finally decided upon red with a random flashing pattern, which
This is his cockpit that he bought. Or not bought, that he had sponsored by Virpil. We're going to be seeing a lot of this cockpit soon.
I was able to match to the rest of my gear. I sometimes use the remote to increase the fan speed one notch if I know I'm going to be pushing the overclock for a longer gaming session. I've also used the remote to lower the fan speed when watching a movie. The remote is a great idea. It lets you quickly and intuitively get configured without needing to learn another piece of software. The box can control up to 6 fans plus 2 light strips and is powered by a single SATA connector. The control box has 2 magnets embedded, which makes mounting easy, and because the fans have a very long lead, you have a lot of freedom to choose where to mount it. This kit would be perfect for a new build, or if you wanted to boost one of their all-in-one coolers with a push-pull configuration. This is what I decided to do today, even though I don't expect any noticeable temperature improvements. I do think I'll be able to maintain better thermal performance at a lower fan speed, and thus lower noise. My install was very simple. With the included hardware, I released the rad from the case, positioned the 2 new fans, gently tightened the screws, taking care not to strip the rad, and then connected them to the pre-installed controller. It's important to plug the fans in sequentially so that the lighting effect makes sense. You also need to ensure that you populate the ports from lowest to highest. Installing 4 fans in ports 1, 2, 3, 5 won't work properly. You need to connect them 1, 2, 3, 4 and leave 5 and 6 blank. The fans themselves are quiet and beautiful. I've actually tested all 6 of them, and none have demonstrated any ticking or clicking noises. If you're looking to build a great-looking personal system or refresh an older build, the M1 1204R is a great cost-effective way to do that. Thank you very much for spending your time with me, and thanks to Gamdius for sending this kit to test. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.
Looks beautiful. Now we get the Star Citizen stuff right here. Will permadeath die before 2020? No bullshit. No permadeath.
Hello YouTubers, this is the Noobifier, and today I wanted to take a stab at a question which I feel hasn't really been answered, or at least isn't very clear. This type of video is labor intensive in research and cross-checking some facts. If you like it and got something out of the discussion, can you please consider posting it up in Discord to generate more discussion and get the subject some light? Let's begin. As the game development evolves, we seem to be getting further and further away from what the original backers were pitched in 2013. That's fine, as evolution's actually what we asked for. Chris Roberts laid out his vision for what's known as permadeath in a document called The Death of a Spaceman. That set out a series of codependent mechanics which will create some sense of tension. The plan was and still is to have player death have meaning. Some games have a completely brutal and unforgiving system where you lose it all when you die. And some games like Call of Duty have actually no impact on death other than a reduced KDR and a loss of a ticket. I have the original documents linked in the description. I also have links to my job series video on medical gameplay as part of the job series that was updated in 2018. Very little's actually been said beyond 2013 specifically about permadeath. We did inadvertently get some information on a second document called Healing Your Spaceman, and of course the Apollo concept last year. The current plan is still to have you live out your life in Squadron 42, which is your early life, and then start your life in the universe. You don't need to complete Squadron 42 to enjoy the PU, however, it's likely that there'll be some perks for those who do. When you create your character, we still expect to require a named beneficiary. That second character is the character you'll play once you finally run out of luck or take so much damage that the medical gameplay can't help you. It's the future, and we expect medical miracles are very common. Cybernetics will be able to rehabilitate with the cost of credits, and then you need to deal with the risk of EMP interfering with your limbs. In essence, the rule of 9 lives is how it was presented. You keep taking damage until eventually there's nothing to bring back. This is permadeath in Star Citizen, and why we have ejection seats and so much efforts being placed in medical gameplay. These mechanics, when fleshed out, are going to be there to reduce the brutal impact of death against our enjoyment of the game. When you finally die, that's it. Your character shifts over to your beneficiary, who inherits whatever you own. With your assets, you get most of the reputation to prevent a total loss. And this also prevents a very lawless player from being able to simply clean slate after a long string of very bad behavior. So far, it sounds pretty good. The game has the desired tension, medical players have a wide set of mechanics, plus a real reason to play, and the player can carry on if they mess up or get jumped. There are many different scenarios, however, I've chosen 3 tonight to highlight my concerns. Massive one-shot single trauma, death because of an incident when logged out, and of course, racing, which in a permadeath universe can simply be seen as suicide. Situations such as headshots from a sniper, aerial bombardment, or a player receiving main weapon fire from a ship is surely going to insta-kill a player. Fun and funny for the player doing the killing, but impossible to defend against. And we all know that no matter what happens, the legal system's not going to prevent people from doing this. Some people just want to see the world burn. And if you put these mechanics in game, you can't ban them because they're actually not doing anything wrong. As we already have one-shot kill weapons in game, I don't actually know how long some players would continue to play if they were getting one-shotted just minding their own business. This has a lot to do with the TTK, which is very easy to explain in a ship with shields and armor, but not so much with a tiny person in a tiny suit. The second situation is a total loss of a ship that you happen to have bunked out of for the night. What should our sleepy time chance of survival be if the core breaches because someone decides to torpedo your bed? Do you just automatically wake up in a medbay somewhere? Or is it really just like a roll of the dice to see how lucky you were? The third one is basically suicide, and by that I mean racing. Racing offers a truly interesting issue because it's not a question of if, but when it kills you. Currently, regular races kill even the best pilots in Arena Commander. Scramble races are going to escalate the risk because you add weapons that are actively trying to kill players. Those of you that know me know that I don't rant. My question today is simply, what will break first? The members of the org that I'm part of have been talking about this, and so far we haven't come up with a good solution. Will we simply accept that death is very common and thus defeat the original tension? Or will we play and avoid risk, missing out on major parts of the developing game? Neither of those are a good option. If I wanted to be a racer, should I just disregard death and accept that I'm on my 50th character for tonight? It's easy to explain all this in Arena Commander and Star Marine. These are simulations within a game. You can die as often as you like, but after persistence, why would anyone risk player death to win a scramble race? That race would need to pay out a lottery's worth of prize just to be considered worth the risk, and thus opening up an exploit. Just enter the race with a group of friends, not kill each other, complete the course, and the winner shares the prize. With permadeath, it's either that or CIG wasted all their time making game mechanics that aren't worth the risk. I don't envy CIG at all. The current development team has inherited a bunch of promises and documents that are going to complicate and confuse the future mechanics. And with that, I'm done, and I need your help. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the subject from both the perspective of the casual player and the hardcore. Thank you very much for spending your time with me, and I hope that you liked my alternative approach to the issue associated with permadeath. Please pass the discussion around as we as a community might actually come up with a solution. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.
Now that's one big can of worms Noob opened up there. I myself, I'm not a fan of permadeath. Especially when they said it was going to cost me like 10% of my wealth when I die. Taxes and fees and stuff like that. The more wealth you have, the more it's going to cost you. So somebody like me that they call a whale, when I die, it's a considerable loss. So I'm really rooting for the permadeath thing to go away, myself personally. Okay, here's a link to Noob's video. He asked you guys to discuss permadeath with him. He will answer, I guarantee it. So that's about it for the news today. I didn't think it was going to take this long because I didn't think there was that much news out there. But because Ox didn't do the news yesterday, there actually was quite a bit out there to grab. Tomorrow shouldn't be so much news, so the news should be possibly like 4 or 5 videos at the most. And then we'll be doing Infinity 2. And if Acrid, I don't know if he's here to answer, but if Acrid has the day off, we'll be going into Soda and then I'll be giving him a place to stay in Shroud of the Avatar. So I'm gonna find somebody to raid so I can go to bed. You got tomorrow off to play Shroud of the Avatar? Because if not, I'm gonna. So what's tomorrow for you? This is tomorrow your Tuesday? Okay. So tomorrow's your Tuesday like mine. Okay. So tomorrow we'll play Divinity. And then Thursday on his, or Wednesday on his day off, we will we'll do Soda, get him into the house. I just started Divinity 2. I just got like to the first part, and that's about it. So I'm looking. We're gonna raid Times of Chaos because I like him, and I think if you watch him, you'll like him. Have you watched this guy yet, Akrid? I think he's pretty good. Time of Chaos. He's definitely different. Like different. Give this guy a chance, dude. Give him like 30 minutes, and I think he'll grow on you. I put the @ symbol in front of the raid command or no? I can never, I never. Oh, I gotta do slash. Try slash. Time of Chaos without the @ symbol. Yeah, it's working. All right, good night, everybody. We're gonna raid him. Tell him Twister sent you. I'm gonna go in there for a while too. Watch him with you guys. Here.
Hey, Scrums. Oh. Hope you're well, mate. Yeah, I've been obsessed with this game for about a year or two now. I mean...
I'm picking up hostile contacts. Get ready. Smoke in.
What?